Hello everyone, welcome to Brain Blitz Audios. In this episode of NEET Preparation, we'll be looking at previous year questions of medical entrance examinations in India. We'll be dealing with biology questions, and the specific chapter that we'll be dealing with is Animal Kingdom. This is the fourth chapter in the grade 11 syllabus of CBSE. Let's begin with the first question. Which one of the following features is common in silverfish, scorpion, dragonfly, and prawn? We have four options here. Option A, 3 pairs of legs and segmented body. Option B, chitinous cuticle and 2 pairs of antennae. Option C, jointed appendages and chitinous exoskeleton. Option D, cephalothorax and tracheae. Let's look at each of our options. Okay, so the thing is that silverfish, scorpion, dragonfly, and prawn are all in phylum Arthropoda. So therefore, the features that we'll be choosing should be common to all arthropods. So let's look at the first option, 3 pairs of legs and segmented body. Now, 3 pairs of legs would imply that the object is an insect. While this belongs to phylum Arthropoda, there are other arthropods such as scorpion or prawns, which are not insects. So option A is incorrect. What about option B? Chitinous cuticle and 2 pairs of antennae. The term cuticle is not exclusively for arthropods. There are other phyla, such as nematoda, which contain a cuticle. So option B is incorrect. What about option D, cephalothorax and tracheae? This is incorrect, as the cephalothorax is not applicable to all kinds of arthropods. Most of them have a head, thorax, and then an abdomen. While the term cephalothorax is only applicable to few species such as spiders. So the right answer is option C, jointed appendages and chitinous exoskeleton. The term jointed appendages is derived from the name Arthropoda, which means jointed appendages. So their legs are jointed and they have a chitinous exoskeleton, so that their exoskeleton is hard. Let's look at our next question. Which one of the following animals is correctly matched with its one characteristic and the taxon? So we have a millipede, a duckbill platypus, we have a silverfish, and we have a sea anemone. Let's look at each of our animals. It's given here that a millipede has ventral nerve cord and is part of Arachnida. Arachnida is a class under phylum Arthropoda. While millipede is an invertebrate and thus has a ventral nerve cord, it belongs to the class Myriapoda. That means many legs. So the taxon here is wrong. So option A is incorrect. Let's look at option C, silverfish. It has pectoral and pelvic fins, which is required for an aquatic animal. But the taxon given here is Chordata, while silverfish belongs to Arthropoda. It is in phylum Arthropoda and not in phylum Chordata. So silverfish is incorrect. What about option D, sea anemone? Sea anemone is part of Cnidaria, but in phylum Cnidaria, organisms are diploblastic. So here the characteristic is wrong. So option D is incorrect. The right answer is option B, duckbill platypus. It belongs to the class Mammalia, and it's one of the only mammals to be oviparous. So option B is correct. Let's look at this question. All mammals, without any exception, are characterized by, and we have some characteristics given here. So we have to find some characteristics which are present in every mammal. Let's look at each of our options. Option A, viviparity and biconcave red blood cells. Viviparity is not present in every mammal. The first class, which includes the duckbill platypus and the spiny anteater, are oviparous, so option A is incorrect. What about option B? Extra abdominal testes and a four-chambered heart. A four-chambered heart is characteristic of mammals, but it's also present for birds, and extra abdominal testes are only present in primata. Non-primates and mammals do not have always extra abdominal testes. They withdraw it inside their abdomen. So option B is incorrect. Let's look at option C. Heterodont teeth and 12 pairs of cranial nerves. The pairs of cranial nerves vary in mammalia. So these vary. So they're not always 12 pairs. So option C is incorrect. So the final answer, which is correct, is option D. A muscular diaphragm and milk-producing glands. Milk-producing glands in the chest gives the class its name, Mammalia, from the mammary glands. Let's look at this question. Which of the following does not come under the class mammals? We have four animals: flying fox, hedgehog, manatee, and lamprey. Let's look at a flying fox. Now, this is also known as the fruit bat, and bats come under Chiroptera, which is present in Mammalia. So option A is correct, but correct in terms of it being a mammal, but it's incorrect in terms of not being under mammal. So it is not excluded from class Mammalia. So the answer here is incorrect. Let's look at option B, hedgehog. Hedgehog belongs to the order Eulipotyphla. And Eulipotyphla is again in class Mammalia. So option B is incorrect. What about option C? Manatee. Manatee is a sirenian, which is a form of aquatic cetacean, which again belongs to class Mammalia. So option C is incorrect. So all of these, flying fox, hedgehog, and manatee, are mammals. The only animal here that isn't a mammal is option D, lamprey, and it's our correct answer. These belong to class Cyclostomata, and they draw nutrition from blood. Let's look at this question. Which of these features is common to leech, cockroach, and scorpion? A, nephridia, B, ventral nerve cord, C, cephalization, and D, antenna. So leech is an annelid, while cockroach and scorpion belong to arthropoda. So they are arthropods. So let's look at one feature here, which is common to both annelids and arthropods. Option A, nephridia, is incorrect. This is only for annelids. Let's look at option D, antennae. It's also incorrect, as these are present only in arthropods. Cephalization, option C, is also a unique characteristic present in arthropods. The right answer is option B, ventral nerve cord, and this is present in all invertebrates. where annelids and arthropods are also a part. So the right answer is option B, ventral nerve cord. Let's look at this question. Based on cellular mechanisms, there are two major types of regeneration found in animals. Which one of the following is the correct example of the type mentioned? So we have these four options, and they essentially deal on morphallaxis and epimorphosis. Morphallaxis is true regeneration where a new organism is formed by regenerating the lost parts, while epimorphosis is a living organism regenerating lost parts. So let's look at our options. Option D, epimorphosis, regeneration of crushed and filtered out pieces of a planaria into many new planarians. This is incorrect. Epimorphosis is the regeneration of lost parts by a living organism, not the regeneration of a living organism by its lost parts. Let's look at option C, morphallaxis, healing up of a wound in the skin. This is incorrect. There is no new organism forming out of this condition. What about option B? Epimorphosis, replacement of old and dead erythrocytes by the new ones. This is replacement and it's not regeneration. So option B is incorrect. The right answer is option A, morphallaxis, regeneration of two transversely cut equal pieces of a hydra into two small hydras. This is a classic example of regeneration and specifically morphallaxis. Let's look at this question. Which statement best explains why invertebrates regenerate lost tissue more readily than most vertebrates do? Let's look at each of our options. But before we do that, we should know that invertebrates are simpler, which means they have less differentiation. So it's easier to regrow its parts or grow as a new organism. So let's look at each of our options. Option D, invertebrate animals have more undifferentiated cells than vertebrate animals have. This statement is absolutely correct. As invertebrates are simpler, there are more undifferentiated cells. The cells haven't differentiated much. Let's look at each of our other options. Option A, invertebrates contain specialized cells that produce the hormones necessary for this process. Again, specialized means that it's advanced, while invertebrates are simple. Option A is incorrect. Invertebrate cells exhibit a higher degree of uncontrolled cell division than vertebrate cells mostly do. This is cancer, and it's also harmful for invertebrates, so option B is incorrect. What about option C? Invertebrate animals reproduce asexually, while vertebrate animals reproduce sexually. This is incorrect, as there are some invertebrates, such as cockroach, earthworm, etc., which undergo sexual reproduction. Therefore, the right answer is option D. Invertebrate animals have more undifferentiated cells than vertebrate animals have. Let's look at this question. Which of the following is correctly matched? A, human to renal portal system, B, earthworm to closed circulatory system, C, cockroach to nephridia, D, none of the above. So let's look at our options. Option A, human renal portal system. In reality, the renal portal system is characteristic of reptiles. Therefore, option A is incorrect. What about option C? Cockroach, nephridia. Cockroach is an arthropod, while nephridia is present in annelids. So option C becomes incorrect. What about option B, earthworm closed circulatory system? This statement is correct, as the body fluid has vessels in which to flow through inside the body of earthworms. And earthworms are a classic example of closed circulatory system in invertebrates. And since option B is correct, option D, none of the above, would automatically disqualify. Let's look at this question. Which set of terms would most likely be used in a description of the nervous system of chordates? So we have some nervous systems given here, and we're to find out which of these belongs to chordates. Let's look at the last option. Option D, no brain, nerve net, and modified neurons. The term nerve net should immediately remind you of Hydra, which is there in phylum Cnidaria, which automatically concludes that this system is not in chordata. So option D is incorrect. Let's look at option C. No brain, fused ganglia, and tympana. The term tympana is characteristic of grasshoppers, which again is in phylum Arthropod, not in chordata. Option C is incorrect. What about option B? Brain, fused ganglia, and ventral nerve cord. This is a system for arthropods, as the term ventral nerve cord indicates that it's an invertebrate, and the term fused ganglia would indicate that it's an arthropod. And chordates are not under this category. So non-chordates contain ventral nerve cord, while chordates always contain a dorsal nerve cord. So option B is incorrect. The right answer is option A. Brain, dorsal nerve cord, and highly developed receptors. Dorsal nerve cord because they have a notochord in the posterior end, and at the dorsal side, and highly developed receptors because they are advanced creatures. Let's look at this question. Which of the following statements is not correct? So here we are to find the statement which is incorrect. So let's look at each of our options. Option D, in cartilaginous fishes, fertilization is internal. So here it says that in cartilaginous fishes such as sharks, there is internal fertilization, which is true as sharks have an organ known as claspers to hang on to their mates. So option D is true, therefore it is incorrect. What about option C? In bony fishes, swim bladder is usually present. The term swim bladder is also referred to as air bladder, which is one of the most characteristic features that differentiate bony fishes and cartilaginous fishes. Option C is true, therefore it's incorrect, because the question asks us to find the statement which is not correct. Option B, roundworm has no circulatory system. Roundworm, which belongs to Nematoda, is parasitic. So as a result, it derives all its nutrition from the host. So it doesn't require a circulatory system. So option B is incorrect, but that means the statement is true. What about option A? All echinoderms are viviparous. Echinoderms are always oviparous. So this is the right option, despite it being a false option, because the question asks us to find the incorrect option. Next question. Ticks and mites are actually A, arachnids, B, crustaceans, C, insects, and D, myriapods. From the options and the given animals, you would know that ticks and mites are in phylum Arthropoda. And these ticks and mites have a head fused with neck. which is all known as a cephalothorax. Let's look at each of our options. Myriapods are containing millipedes. So these do not have a cephalothorax, as millipedes do not contain a cephalothorax. So option D is incorrect. Option C, insects. Insects have a distinct head and thorax along with the abdomen. So option C is incorrect. Option B, crustaceans. These include prawns, but they have a proper head and thorax. So option B is incorrect. The right answer is option A, arachnids. Ticks and mites have 8 legs and belong to arachnids. Another famous arachnid is the spider. Let's look at this question. The Portuguese man of war is A soldier of World War I, B, a Portuguese soldier, C, a sponge, D, a polymorphic colonial coelenterata. The term Portuguese man of war is an animal. Therefore, a soldier of World War I and Portuguese soldier is incorrect, as these refer to humans while we're dealing with kingdom Animalia. And this species, the Portuguese man of war, was named after a Portuguese vessel, which later became a cnidarian. Therefore, option C, which is a sponge belonging to Porifera, is incorrect. That gives us the right answer, option D, a polymorphic colonial coelenterata. Coelenterata and cnidaria mean the same thing. They are the same phylum. Let's look at this question. Which of these are exclusively viviparous? A, bony fishes, B, cartilaginous fishes, C, sharks, and D, whales. Option A, bony fishes, is outright incorrect. Bony fishes are always oviparous. They're also having external fertilization. Option B and option C, which are both cartilaginous fishes and sharks, respectively, do not always have viviparity. So they are not exclusive to viviparity. So options B and C are incorrect. The right answer is option D, whales. Whales are cetaceans, which are aquatic mammals. And with the extreme exception of the duck-billed platypus and spiny anteater, mammals are exclusively viviparous. Let's look at this question. Given are the 4 matches of phyla with their characteristic cells. So here, coelenterata is given to nematocysts, porifera is given to choanocytes, ctenophora is given to solenocytes, and platyhelminthes is given to nephrocytes. So mark the option that's both correct matches. So we need to check these matches one by one. So option A, coelenterata. Now these include the likes of jellyfish, sea anemone, hydra, etc. And these are hunters, and they hunt using the characteristic cell that is nematocytes. So this statement is true. Let's look at statement B. Porifera having choanocytes. These are collar cells, and they are very important in the water vascular system of porifera. So option B is true. What about option C? Ctenophora selenocytes. The term selenocytes is exclusively used as flame cells, and these are found in organisms such as Annelida. So option C is false. Let's look at option D, platyhelminthes and nephrocytes. Nephrocytes are an auxiliary organ or cell which is found in arthropoda. Therefore, option D is also false. So options A and B are supposed to be true. And when we look at our options, option A, which contains A and B as the correct match, will be correct. In option B, C is incorrect. In option C, both C and D are incorrect. And in option D, D is incorrect. Let's look at this question. Cockroaches are brown or black-bodied animals that are included in class blank of phylum blank. We need to identify the class and phylum of cockroaches. Now, these are six-legged, and their legs have jointed appendages. From the term jointed appendages, you would know that cockroach is an arthropod. While from the term six-legged, you would know that cockroach is an insect. So cockroaches belong to class Insecta of phylum Arthropoda. So that means option B is correct. In option A, the phylum Annelida does not contain the class Reptilia. In option C, the class Insecta is an Arthropoda and not an Annelida. And in option D, the class Reptilia does not belong to Arthropoda. So all of these are incorrect. Which of the following statements are true or false? So we have 5 statements here, and we need to find out which of them is true and which of them is false. So let's look at each of our options. Option A. In torpedo, the electric organs are capable of generating strong electric shock to paralyze the prey. The term torpedo refers to electric ray, and electric rays use electric shock to paralyze their prey. So this statement is true. Option 2, that means statement 2. Bony fishes use pectoral, pelvic, dorsal, anal, and caudal fins in swimming. This statement is correct. Bony fishes, known as Osteichthyes, contain all of the type of fins as their cartilaginous cousins. So option 2, the statement 2 is true. Let's look at statement 3. Amphibian skin is moist and has thick scales. Thick scales are found in reptiles and not in amphibians. So this statement is outright false. Birds are poikilothermic animals is statement 4. Poikilothermic means cold-blooded. And this is absolutely wrong because birds are always warm-blooded. So statement 4 is false. And number 5, the most unique mammalian characteristic is the presence of milk-producing mammary glands by which the young ones are nourished. This statement is absolutely true because the name mammalia comes from the mammary glands present from which milk is produced. So according to our analysis, statements 1, 2, and 5 are correct, while 3 and 4 are incorrect. And when we look at our options, the only option which concurs with our result is option B, which is the right answer. So 1, 2, and 5 are true, while 3 and 4 are false. Let's look at this question. Now, column 1 contains organisms and column 2 contains their excretory structures. Choose the correct match from the options given below. So we have cockroach, catfish, earthworm, balanoglossus, and flatworm, and the excretory structures nephridia, Malpighian tubules, kidneys, flame cells, and proboscis gland. And we have 4 options given here. The trick with these questions is identify the simplest option that comes into your mind. Sometimes with just one option, with just one matching up, you'll be able to get the right answer. So Let's look at an earthworm. Earthworm is an annelid, and they have the excretory structure nephridia. So C is matched up with 1. And when we check our options, we find that option D is the only option containing the same statement. So option D is our right answer. All other options are incorrect because of just this one matchup. Let's look at option D and identify the others. Cockroach, Malpighian tubule. Absolutely correct. Catfish, kidneys. Catfish are chordates, so they contain kidneys. So that is absolutely correct. Balanoglossus and proboscis gland. The statement is absolutely correct. These are hemichordates. Flatworm contains flame cells, and these are also correct. So the right answer is option D, A2, B3, C1, D5, and E4. And all of that after just matching up earthworms with nephridia, which is pretty simple. Now, let's come over to the final question. In which one of the following, the genus name, its 2 characters, and phylum are not correctly matched? So here the keyword is not, so we have to find the incorrect option. Let's look at option D, Periplaneta with jointed appendages in chitinous exoskeleton belonging to phylum Arthropoda. Periplaneta is the scientific name for cockroach. So cockroaches are arthropods, and arthropods contain jointed appendages and chitinous exoskeleton. So option D is true, so it becomes incorrect according to this question. Let's look at option C, cycon. Cycon is a sponge, and sponges belong to phylum Porifera. Porifera means that these creatures are pore-bearing and they have a canal system, a water vascular system. So option C is also true, which makes it incorrect. Let's look at option B, Asterias. Asterias refers to starfish, and starfish are an important member of Echinodermata. And since they are part of Echinodermata, they contain spiny skin and another water vascular system comprising of tube feet. So option B is true, which makes it incorrect. The right answer is option A, Pila with its 2 characters, body segmented and mouth with radula, belonging to phylum Mollusca. This statement must be false. And when we analyze it, we understand that Pila belongs to phylum Mollusca. But in phylum Mollusca, the body is not segmented. They have soft bodies, and in some cases covered by hard shells. And their mouth has radula. So because of the characteristic of the body, we found out that option A is false, and in accordance to this question, that option becomes correct because the option asks us to find out which of these is not correct. And that concludes this episode of NEET preparation. We hope that this was helpful in cracking up your medical entrance examination preparations happening in India. And for more useful content from our end, please subscribe to our channel, Brain Blitz Audios. Don't forget to comment in the comment section below of your suggestions so that we'll be able to improve on ourselves. Don't forget to like the video and click that bell icon. Until the next episode, see you soon. Bye-bye.